And we're live. Hey, all right, so we're here. We're finally going live here. I was getting real impatient. I don't know. I was excited about streaming tonight for some reason. I don't know. Not when I have my audio on over here. Here we go. Yeah. So we finally have our first official guest today. My buddy Gage Mitchell here has decided to join us. We're so thankful to have you, dude. Gage, love for you to introduce yourself here and tell our friends about you. Piece for Faces of a Mad Artist. So what I do with some of this art basically is I take all the random art I have of his. I have like 700 plus pieces of his art, and I'm just photo bashing them into like this is his splattery painting I found, just like some old piece of it's right over here. So like I just found this in my garage today. I mean, I've had it been thrown around, but since he died, it's foam core and just like beat up. It's got stains and all kinds of bullshit on it. So, this is just like one of the random pieces, but it looks really beautiful, So I was like, oh, cool, let me take a picture of that and play with that digitally. So that's the base here. And then like I found this little face in a sketchbook that he drew, right? So this is from like because I just hoarded all of his stuff after he died. 70, I don't know, man. 1970, let's call it that. Let me see, there's another one back here that's dated 76. So that's pretty cool. But there wasn't even, like, cell phones back then. There wasn't any, like, this sketchbook is old as dirt. And now it's going to be an NFT. What'd you say? So yeah, all right. So this is what Alex is talking about. Just kidding. That side. I'm trying to like move backwards, and I found this. It's in the same notebook, by the way, from the 1970s. And on the 5th anniversary of my dad's death, I did that, and then I turned it. I found that, and then like slapped it in with a bunch of different other pieces of art, and I made a piece to celebrate him. On what a lucid dream is what I ended up calling it. So. We started with that guy. My dad never named any of his pieces. I mean, there's a couple names, but I've had to name all of the pieces posthumously, even for the first collection, which was really fun. So as this thing evolved, right? So these are all 3 of his paintings that I really liked, and then that was his sketch, and then I put them all together to make this, and I gave it away as an NFT, and then obviously I illustrated on top of it, and it's like super cool. I love it. So we gave that away in our first drop collection to a guy named Pablo. So he has the first NFT, and then I'm sending him a signed official print as well. That'll be the first official print we've done here. I'm still trying to hash out how I'm gonna do that, but I want to do it in a way that kind of rewards the fans who take interest and buy those types of things or win them or however. That's no fun. Sorry about that, guys. We're still hammering out how we're doing this, and we're getting better at it. I hope you guys were enjoying the art and half of a conversation. Do you do any digital art, Gage, or are you mostly just on the design side?
I go back and forth. My original interest in design was coming from an art background. I got a fine arts degree and all that kind of stuff, but since I got into the profession, I have carved out design profession, I should say, I've carved out less and less time for art. Like for a while when I was designing more, by which I mean now I'm kind of running the company and doing creative direction, stuff like that, more than designing. But when I was designing more, I would find ways to weave, like mix some art into the design as well, like do my own illustration for the packaging or do different things like that. But since I'm mostly doing like creative direction and business management and all that kind of stuff now, it's hard to really find the spaces in my work to do the art. So I keep looking for opportunities, and I recently bought some art supplies because I'd kind of gotten rid of most of them over the many moves that I've made. But I recently bought some art supplies to just try to get back into it. And then I also have an iPad that I've been drawing on occasionally and so on and so forth. But
I feel like I've heard Carl say that. Exactly. You know, like he's gotten into the business side of it and he wants to get back to the art side of it. And I mean, I even feel the same way because I'm, you know, I have a business degree and went business side, but there's an artistic side of me as well. And I don't know, maybe this is where it happens, you know?
Hey, dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it, man. I was feeling that same vibe. Go ahead.
We need to have, like, is there like a Google Doc version of Photoshop yet where we could all just get in and start creating something together?
I think there is, bro. We should. I'm so down for that.
That's an awesome idea, actually. I like that.
Yeah, we're just like all collaborating on a piece of art.
Like the whole, because it's funny. Google has definitely replaced like Microsoft Office. Well, it hasn't replaced it. It's kind of like tier 2 of that, but they have not done any photo editing that I know of. I'm sure there's something, but not on.
Yeah, like, Word is just like every time it's like, oh yeah, I did it in Word. I'm like, oh, please keep that away from me. Like, I don't want to see your.
I mean, if you're really dedicated, you can build art out of anything. I heard of some guy who was doing these gigantic spreadsheets where he was using each cell as like a color block, almost like a paint by number, like fill in this block. But he would make these gigantic spreadsheets that would create a piece of art because each cell was basically a pixel that he would select color for.
I've seen
get creative and.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but I'll bust out some good old MS Paint, you know? It's yeah, man.
Does that still exist?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they got 3D paint now, Doc. It's on another level.
One of my first forays into quote-unquote graphic design. Yeah, I mean, who are you hurting in that case? Yeah, right. Not a big deal. And, so I did drop. I think it was probably while people couldn't hear other audio, but I did drop that Hershey diss track by Midday Squares. The link to the YouTube in the Cleanta Studios.
Oh, thanks, man.
Discord.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
If you want to pull that up, it could be fun to just like play that video on this stream. Just because it's just wacky and silly, and it'd be fun to like hear what y'all think about this.
Let me ask you, who owns the rights to this? Let's see here.
I asked them the same thing. I asked them if they bought the rights to Eminem's
I can
music
find out. I'm pretty sure we can play it without.
And they said, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can play it without being, because it's called DMCA. Like you were talking about the person with the orange, the copyright lost. We have to work around playing music from others' rights. This has a lot of license. Has seven rights or 7 licenses, so we can't play it. But
so they did buy the licenses.
Yeah, it's licensed by YouTube by CMRRA, Latin Auto Perf, AMRA, a bunch of people. So unfortunately, we can't play.
Wow, I've never even looked at that. Is that just like in the YouTube notes?
Yeah, right in the bottom of it's music in this video. So I have a tool called Social Blade, and it's just an extension on Chrome, but you can look at any YouTube song and see who's got licenses behind it and who owns the rights to to the music. And it's funny because 3 years ago, in fact, I think on Twitch less than a year ago, you could play anything and your past broadcasts would be fine. But what happens now, if you play a song that you don't have the rights to be playing, your whole stream past broadcast will be muted. They can take like, I mean, like a small time, like us, it's not a big deal. But when you have like 50,000 viewers, there's been talks of like lawsuit. They want their money for blah blah blah. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's all silly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, people trying to protect their IP, but yeah. Go ahead, Gage.
I mean, it kind of makes sense in some way, but like if you're not using it to profit off it, but you're actually like promoting that thing, that's also kind of funny. Like for example, I've got a podcast that I'm developing, but we were experimenting with this YouTube only series where we would taste some products and then give our feedback on the quality of the product, like from a taste and nutrition standpoint, but also from a brand, like what do we think of this brand? Is it following its values, etc.? But then also like how is this company in general upholding their mission? Long story short, in one of them we were just like screen sharing, and for a brief moment there was like a song playing like on one of the websites that we were sharing, and then that video got blocked in like 10 countries. Like that, for that little blip of moment where a song was just like in the background playing, and we're like, wow, they are on top of it. So I don't know what algorithms are out there, but like,
you just said it, man. These days it's all algorithm based, and sometimes the algorithms fire inaccurately. So I think the way YouTube does it is you have about 20 seconds where you could play any song for 20 seconds, and the algorithm allows it. But there's more egregiously copyrighted music that if it's even a blip of it, and it's okay to talk about these things. Like, in fact, a lot of the community spends a lot of time talking about it because it's difficult as a content creator or artist to be able to find stuff that's licensable and usable and still be able to put your own spin on it. So
yeah, I mean, and like for me, like I want to listen to some music live stream, and I want people to like take in the vibe, right? Like
that's where everybody was kind of at. Like it took me a long time. I used to listen to like the early 2 or 3 years ago. The copyright free music was just absolutely. I mean, it was all digital. There was no competition. It was like owned by 2 or 3 producers. And it was terrible. Like, there was just no way to put it. And I was sitting here, it was driving me absolutely nuts listening to the same like techno crap every night.
As it's playing.
Yeah. Well, now this is a step up. Trust me when I tell you that. But
I mean, no disrespect to whoever this is. It's actually good, but I just thought it was funny that.
Believe me, man. The shit that it used to be, it's come a long ways. But I don't know. And on the same token, you have streamers that quite literally only watch other people's YouTube channels, and they have a legal loophole to be allowed to do that because they're putting an artistic spin and are putting a review on it. So that's legal, and that's not copyrightable, yet you work into a song in the background. I don't know. It's a fine line.
Yeah, it's so weird. And the many things that I've done within branding, one of the things I did was randomly, like helping a restaurant select a playlist. And this is before I knew all the rules about what you could play in a restaurant. So we spent a decent amount of time selecting hundreds of tracks or whatever that all fit different vibes for lunch, dinner, etc. And I gave it to him. And then, of course, like within a month, someone from like music licensing happened to show up at their restaurant. Like, what are the chances, right? Tiny little town in Wisconsin, like, and the music rights people show up, and they're like, "Hey, do you have the rights to this music?" And he's like, "No, we bought the songs. Does that count?" And they're like, "No, you have to, pay to license it, and like, I'll give you an estimate or whatever, like some sort of company that manages that."
What is the
turned out not to be like. Yeah, turned out for him, he thought it was worth it because he liked the soundtrack so much that he's like, screw it, I'm just gonna pay for it. But like, what are the chances this tiny little town, like it's called Middleton, Wisconsin, like a tiny little town, like who's going there that works for music company. That's crazy.
And like, that's like me trying to like charge somebody for, oh, well, you know, you bought this piece of art, but if you want to hang it in your business, I need to charge you to license it to be like, what? What are we talking about?
You know, if anything, you're glorifying it.
Yeah, and it's exactly like that. You bought the art, but I'm going to charge you to display it now. What?
Like
you're displaying it in the environment as I would hope that the artist would want it to be displayed in. You know, like I don't know.
So strange. It's a strange world we live in.
Yeah,
but, so
again,
I think, you know, circling back around.
As artists, we want other artists to get paid for sure. But like,
right.
It's just, where do you draw the line?
Well, that's the beauty of Web3, man, and NFTs is that like they're going to be able to create systems with this. That's like, okay, this song got played. Well, the creator gets X amount, and the person who owns the asset, whatever that might be, gets X amount, and you can divide those up, right? Like I've got these pictures, right, and I'm creating assets that I'm selling, right, and the royalties and the original sales and all the royalties, which are about 10%. all divide up equally among all the stakeholders in each piece, right? Like some of these are like the originals that I'm going to sell are part my siblings as well, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm sharing a piece of that with them automatically in the blockchain. How cool is that? And then my partner who helps me run the company also gets a piece, right? So like all of that's like really cool because it builds all that into it in a way that everybody has an equitable stake. And I just think that's the future of licensing and this type of stuff. It's just cool, man. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, Gage, you touched on
so like on this piece, for example, Alex and I are also getting 10% since we're helping trade it. Right?
10% of the total traded volume.
I thought it was 10.5, Carl. I don't know.
Hey man, I mean, just you just gotta. Here's how it works. I'll sell it, and then you buy it, and then sell it, and then you get 90%.
Nice.
That's a tactic, man. Yeah, you were speaking about some philanthropy there, like you giving back, and that's also something that a lot of people cook into what's called their contract in Web3, where, like Carl was mentioning, part of it's going to his brothers, and a lot of people also will include like a percentage to the charity or whatever they want it to be. So yeah, I guess in a sense this really is a great way to draw those lines.
I'm drawing.
And that's the kind of thing for those who don't know. Yeah, nice tie back in. But for people like me who don't know as much about Web3 and NFTs, so when you're saying they can bake in like a charity that gets money every time it's sold or whatever, that's like automatic. Like nobody down the line, further down the chain, nobody can change the rules. Nobody can add new rules or anything else like that. Is it like when it's originally minted, that locks in the rules, and then from there it's not like someone else can be like, you know what, I'm gonna add this other rule that every time someone buys it after me, that it also donates to this charity, or
the way that would work,
I'm gonna increase my percentage to 20% or something.
The way that would work is based on the exchange you've listed on. You'll have a contract for each exchange, so wherever you list it, you'll have those parameters defined. And yes, while like the art may be eternal and the charity may not be, you as the owner of whatever whatever NFT or series you're selling, you could create a new contract with new percentages, parameters, and that can be an evolving thing.
So to answer your question, Gage, there's a couple different ways.
Person who bought it, though. But let's say, like, Carl, you sell this piece to someone, and then he sells it to someone, and he sells it to someone, and he sells it to someone. That fifth person, or whatever number it is, that person can't just go in and make up their own rules, can they?
No, but it depends on the smart contract that you've created. And like Alex had mentioned, there's also, so like if I created this and you create what's called a registry, and then you assign NFTs to a registry, and those are collections. And the smart contract can be written in any number of ways. The way that we're doing it is different than some other ways, and we have a different technology that we're working with some people from HyperNet on, which is a really cool NFT company that they're making their own their actual own smart contracts and technology on that side, but they're also doing some really cool stuff on the like registry side, where it allows some really cool, like I can update my NFTs in the future if I want to, but some people don't want that. Some people want like to set up something that's like more permanent. So you can do things that are called a DAO. Have you heard of DAOs yet?
Yeah, briefly in my conscious crypto conversations, but I'm still trying to understand what everything really is, but I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, so DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations. And from the way I understand it, what they do is allow governance over a community, and all of the rules of how it works are all built into the blockchain so that they're not changeable. So you could have your NFTs built on a certain DAO or a different thing, and it's basically like the long short of your answer is like it can be either way. It just depends on how you set it up. So yes, you can have it like be permanently unchangeable, and have different things written into the smart contracts, and make it so that it is everlasting in a lot of ways, which is really interesting. I don't know the technical expertise details of that, but that's my understanding of it so far.
Yeah, I think that's part of the barrier for me is there's so much to it. There's so many things to learn. There's so many different tools and terms and so on and so forth. So, like, I feel like I need to read 3 NFT Web3 for dummies and, you know, crypto and all this other kind of stuff just to like even start to scratch the surface to like make any decisions. And I think that's terrible of me because I should just be like diving in head first and being like, hey, who knows what's gonna come from this, but like may as well dive in and learn by doing. But there's also this moment of like you get kind of frozen and like, oh my god, that's too much for me to even focus on. Maybe it's just because I'm overworked and don't have the time.
That's a common feeling. It's a common feeling when people get into this. And me and Carl are by far not experts in Web3 either. There are people who have made very, very, very profitable careers out of it. It's a coding language on top of being just a whole concept to understand. But that's why there are tools. We're working with a couple of companies that are making that whole process so much easier and so much more understandable for everybody involved. But yeah, you just kind of have to take it with a breadth first approach and one thing at a time.
Yeah, I still remember when I was like first getting into it about a year and a half ago, and I just got like addicted. And I don't know why my voice is. Dude, I just would like sit in the tub for like till the bath was cold, just reading more and more and more and more about NFTs and about crypto and all the different crazy shit. And then like it just kept expanding and expanding, and now I just love it. And it's like I think about it all the time and like all the different ways the technology can be used. It's just, but yeah, it's overwhelming. I remember just feeling mentally exhausted, like I hadn't been that tired from learning since college, and it's been a minute. So
it took me a minute. It was
and
a
now
tough
I can't help but picture you sitting in a tub for like 18 hours,
like,
popping out.
Pruny, like, oh my god, what if I did the?
Oh my, that's
yeah. I do some of my best stuff just sitting in the tub with my cell phone, trying not to drop it in the water. Best thing they ever did was like make all the cell phones waterproof. That was a huge pivoting point for me.
Yeah, I mean, they say the best ideas sometimes come while you're in the shower, so you should just mount like a Wacom tablet in the shower or something like that. That way you're
in
ready
like a plastic bag.
Do you happen to be in the shower right now? Because that's a damn good idea.
Dude. No, haven't gone.
Actually, that would make a pretty fun stream theme. I bet everyone would follow that one. It's
yeah,
like
we have to put that one on OnlyFans.
Carl,
no, you don't.
Tower.
Never mind.
We're just gonna show you from the top up. That's all. Don't worry about it. The OnlyFans camera will be down lower. But...
Yeah. Subscribe to the OnlyFans. You'll be disappointed.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, that's funny. It's so funny. Like I think every stream we end up making an OnlyFans joke at some point.
That's a huge market on this.
Sounds like it's on your mind, and you need to get on it, man.
No, yeah, I like being married and stuff, and my wife does things that are not.
I would support it.
Her career is not real good for a husband that has an OnlyFans stream.
That's a good point.
She's old school professional type of stuff. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
It's still a funny joke.
So I know you've got this Cleanta Studio and you've got Colorful Carl going and you got the Epic Made studio that's blowing up and you've been getting tons of dream clients lately. Like, how are you? Like, I feel like I've got a lot going on, but you maybe beat me in that you might have more going on. So how are you juggling all this right now?
Man, not too well, if I'm being honest. Like, it's hard right now. I'm trying to, like, I was doing great with all of it when I was really like able to roll at like peak efficiency, and I was running like up to 15. I got up to like 11 miles one time, and I'm like rounding in, and like my legs hurt, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, but yeah, I've really been pushing it, and Epic Mate's been crushing it, and we've done some really cool stuff, and yeah, Cleanta Studios and all the stuff with AIGA. It's been a lot. I don't know how I'm doing it, Gage, but it's holding together. I
didn't even mention AIGA.
What'd you say?
Jesus, other thing. No. I said, in that list I was rattling off, I forgot even AIGA. So yeah, you've got even more stuff going on.
Oh, it's insane, but it's fun. Like, I keep joking with my wife. It's like, I am genuinely, in some ways, overwhelmed. Trying to launch this collection, doing live stream. It's kind of like you said earlier. I keep turning my music on. It's like I should have started with like a blog. Like, no, let's live stream, and like, so I had my board meeting earlier, and now I'm live streaming. I've been working and taking calls all afternoon, and on one of my conference calls, I was out there weeding my garden and harvesting all my carrots for the season that are all ripe now. So
yeah,
good times.
You know what? I just got an idea. Another crossover. One of your live streams should be while you're at the board meeting, and you can be creating art well at the board meeting and streaming at the same time.
Yes, it should be done.
I'm open to all the possibilities.
Just bombard yourself with the most going on at once, and let it be art in itself.
It's funny, let's call this series "What Will Break Carl." And we'll just, like, every episode we'll be like putting you in new challenges. Like, you'll be standing a tub of ice water while trying to create art one moment. You'll be in the shower the next moment. You'll be at a board meeting the next moment. You'll be like harvesting carrots while creating art the next moment. And it'll just be like, how many things can we put on Carl?
Wait, we can put it on OnlyFans too and make it a naked. What's that?
I do totally want to go on naked and afraid. Like, no bullshit. So
I'm sure there's somebody that has a workaholic kink. They would subscribe to that.
Yeah, dude, I don't feel like a workaholic though. Like, I really, maybe that's the denial, but I love everything I'm doing with my life. Like, everything, I want to do all of it. Like, but I have a really, really great team. Like, in all the different, like, I couldn't do this live stream without Alex, right? Like, this would be a no-go. Right, like, I can't run AIGA without my board. Like, they do the bulk of it. Like, I'm just, I tell people all the time, like, I'm just the leader. I'm just going real fast and real hard and seeing what we can do. Like you guys said, it's funny. Like, when I bring someone on the Epic Made team, I'm like, look, there's no boss here. Like, you gotta get your work done, and I don't care how that goes. Like, as long as it goes well. Like, I don't care what when you're working or any like the micromanagey type of stuff. Like, just like, did we set the expectations? Did they get met? Yes, great. No, why? And let's figure it out. And it's basically how I run everything. I don't know. So this thing's just all me having that internal dialogue on this work.
I don't know how to say his screen name, Lucors or something, but he's talking about hopping in the shower now too. So I'm assuming he or she was super inspired by our conversation. He or she is going to go create art in the shower now. So hopefully post that up and let us know how it went.
That's Zach's brother.
Yeah, that's one of my good friends. I've known him since he was a young child. Yeah, we're both probably. I mean, I think I'm like he's 28 or something. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. But hopefully,
here.
What were you saying, Gage?
You made a comment about like you don't feel like you're a workaholic, and I feel like I have to I have to have that same conversation all the time because a lot of people also accuse me of being a workaholic just because I, more often than not, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I'm doing something, but it's for a bunch of different projects, and the same way you described it, like you're just excited about all this stuff and you love doing it. I feel like it's the same way for me, and I don't know if that qualifies as workaholic, right? Where you actually, you're not doing it because you've got some weird hang-ups that you gotta like provide for the family, or I don't know where original workaholism comes from, but like you're doing it because there's too much exciting stuff out there and like too many things for you to focus on. It's almost more of like an ADHD quality or something that's like, this is cool and this is cool and this is cool. How do you say no to some of these cool things? So I feel like my problem is more like I like too many things and I probably should say no to more of them, but it's not like I'm trying to stack my calendar. I just like too many things.
Yep. It's exactly that, man. It's like I totally relate to all that. And for me, it's like this whole like watching my dad slowly die, like really calibrated my perspective that like I'm gonna die. Like, so what the fuck am I like? I want to do all the things. Like I got to do the things before I die. Like, let's do it. You know, there's not enough time. I don't care how long I live. It's not enough time to do all the living I want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The crazy thing now. Go ahead.
Sorry, were you gonna say something, Alex?
Well, I was just going to mention that it's so easy to do all the things now with technology. I mean, it's the thing of the cell phone. You can literally work from a phone, and you could be on a beach or in the middle of the jungle if you can get reception. That is, but like it's just so easy to work anywhere now.
I keep telling myself that, yet I'm still sitting in this room for months on end.
I guess in the art space,
well, you do have all your equipment there and the conditions you want, and maybe the music and so on and so forth. So you can work from everywhere, but is everywhere optimal? Maybe not. Actually, one of my team members at the studio is digital nomad. So he could be in a national park, or he could be crashing in someone's house or in another country at any given moment when he pops onto one of our meetings.
That's awesome.
Not exactly sure how he does it, but he's just had to like downsize all of his equipment and optimize everything that he does so that it can fit in like a backpack and you can just go anywhere. So literally, like, he'll have conversations back and forth of, if I buy this other thing, it'll save me 2 ounces in my travel bag, 2 ounces of weight or something. And like, he's getting down to the ounce, to truly optimize how much work it is to pack up and go.
Min-maxing, man. It's funny. There's a whole series of streamers on this platform that do what's called IRL streaming, and there's a guy who literally found a remote beach in Australia that like no one goes to, and he's been living there for 2 years and gets reception via satellite and has a whole streaming setup out of a backpack, and he gets up 2,000 or 3,000 viewers. But yeah, he's been surviving, man. He's just been surviving out there with his phone and his rechargeable batteries and doing it all live for people to watch. It's just fascinating.
Yeah,
dude, I love it.
And he's just living there by himself too, though.
Yeah. Yes. There's like I believe Aborigine tribes near. I don't know if that's the appropriate term, but yeah, there's like tribal people, and like it's crazy. There's a lot of people there.
I can't help but think about the movie The Beach when you described it.
That's what I was thinking too. Sounds dope.
Yeah, like some marijuana farmers are gonna like come and be carrying them off the beach anytime now, but
not anymore now.
Cool.
It's all. They'd have to be like heroin farmers or something, It's got to be a little higher level. Marijuana is no longer serious for anybody,
Yeah, the transition.
Yeah, but it is crazy that the world is the way it is. We can go anywhere and can't go anywhere and do anything, but you get the idea. You can take your thing on the road. Most of us can.
Well, everything is more accessible to some people, for the record, than probably it's ever been in the history of man. So,
I was, in fact, 2 years ago, I was going to do a coding boot camp. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from UVA, UVA-wise. But I wanted to do computer science, and most people do it the other way around. They do computer science and then business. Anyways, where I'm getting at with this is I was going to do what's called App Academy, which is a coding boot camp, 6-month course. And my buddy did it, and I kept making excuses of like, I don't have the place to do it, Robert. I can't get into it. He goes, Alex, take a look at this. Take a look at one of my peers right now, and this is a woman literally living in a tent with a laptop, and she's in a coding boot camp and graduated, and I think she landed a job after 6 figures.
Jesus.
Yeah, you can do it you can do it anywhere. If you can put your head into that space and focus. I personally can't. Maybe I can, but I keep telling myself I can't. You really can.
Well, it sounds like you keep self-limiting yourself. I think you need to dig into that. Like, what do you mean by can't? Like, it would be difficult, or
I think
job isn't possible, or it's just like uncomfortable. Cause
it's that ADD thing. It's that ADD thing is part of it. Like I'm easily distracted by things. Things have to be just right for me to really get into a flow state where I feel creative and productive. And that's like an individual person to person, the difference. But
fair enough.
I don't know. You have to find the environment conducive to work, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you have to like know how to hack your environment, right? So like wherever you are, hypothetically speaking, you might find a formula that hacks the conditions. So like if you get really easily distracted by noises, making sure you've got like great noise canceling headphones or something. If you get really distracted by light, I don't know what the solution there would be. That one might be hard. But there's probably some ways
sunglasses.
Just like, yeah, and it's just about like observing your optimal environment and figuring out like, how do I make this mobile? How do I make this smaller? How do I make this cheaper? Or whatever. And I'm not speaking necessarily from experience. I'm stuck here at my desk for the most part as well. But for a while, pre-pandemic, I was on the road almost more than I was at home. So I found ways to just like get stuff done anywhere I was. But I get that like I don't necessarily have the same limitations or whatever as someone that might have sensitivity to light or sound or whatever else. But I feel like there's increasingly more ways to do things that we think we can't do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have, in fact, the noise canceling headset is a great point. I'm wearing a nice plug to Sennheiser right now. Thank you very much for the Game Zeros. Noise canceling headset, they're great. But all those little things definitely help. They help me anyway. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just introspection.
Carl, tell us where you're at on this piece right now.
Yeah, dude,
I see you doing some warping, and I kind of warp into the face to almost make the face pop off of the texture.
Yeah, I was thinking that might be a fun little trick to try to execute here. Yeah, so I mean, I've just been playing with this thing and trying to see where I can take it, and I don't know, man. It's like I said, I just try to channel my dad, just kind of like have an idea and just get a little fearless with it. But yeah, just trying to warp it now.
So this piece here is you have a completed one as well. This is just going to be another iteration.
What do you mean?
Isn't the original sketch already on our Niftify?
No, that was a part of the Lucid Dream one.
I see.
This is in the same notebook. It's from the same time period. You might have done it like, within a few days or a few years. But what'd you say?
I said it's the same series. It was like in a blue period, like Picasso.
Yeah, I love it. It is of the same time of his life. The piece that I said was one of my favorites. Isn't this the base image? No, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is the base image for this, right?
Got it.
The one that you really liked, that was Lucid Dream. This is the base image for Lucid Dream.
Okay. Now the synapses are connecting. Very nice.
This one's looking kind of funky though, guys.
I know. I'm kind of digging it. It's getting there.
Yeah.
I'm just like going for it. The fearlessness.
Yeah. Dive into the deep end. We're just your muses in the background, giving you
you wonderful musy people.
Peanut gallery.
Let's see.
Yeah. Have you watched Carl? I don't know, Alex, if you're from the design industry or if you know this guy, but Aaron Draplin. Carl, I imagine you know him, but have you watched any of his live streams where he'll just sit there and like, I think he just does it on like Facebook or something instead of Twitch, but like he'll just sit there and like design a logo while playing music and shooting the shit and telling jokes, and like every once in a while he'll just pause for a bit and pick up the guitar and like start playing something. It's pretty entertaining, but I haven't watched a ton of it, but I saw one of them at one point. But people love just sitting here and watching the process sometimes.
Yeah, Draplin's amazing. I first learned about Draplin a couple years back, and I just started watching him on Skillshare, and it was the same kind of vibe. He's like, hey, here we go. Well, I'll just blah, 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 da, 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 here. And like he just makes this like beautiful logo and like looks so effortless. It's like, dude, you just undermined everyone. Like, but I mean, he didn't though, right? Like, when you know what you know, like, it takes years to hone a skill like that.
Totally, and he's got like a very specific style, and when you do that same style over and over, you're going to get good at it.
Yeah, he does have a style that he leans into a lot for sure. But he actually came and did a book signing and a book signing and a speech and a workshop at our chapter at AIGA, and that was like the first. So I've met him in person. We hosted an event with him. He's really, really cool dude. Like super authentic.
Cool, yeah. So when are you gonna do your Cleanta Studios art book tour?
Oh man, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Get up here in Seattle.
Yeah, you got me. You got the good spots over there. Do I need to come out that way?
Should we start talking about some dates?
I'm down. Let's get.
I mean, I feel like that's got to be one of your outcomes of this is do a book, right?
Tell him he's got to get out west.
I've never been out there.
He's never been to the West Coast. It's just blows my. This is weird. The space bowl. Right? That's what I said.
Yeah, bro. Like never.
Oh, man. We got to get you out of your backyard every once in a while.
Yeah, that's what they tell
Alex,
me.
where are you from?
I'm
where are you living, and where have you lived?
I've always lived in Virginia Beach, but I've been all over the world. Been to Europe 3 times. Been east to west. Went to San Diego last time I was in Cali, but I've always lived in Virginia Beach. But I will say that traveling and seeing how much society is the same yet quite different is a beautiful thing. I would love to get back to traveling.
Humans are humans everywhere you go. Good, bad, and indifferent, I surmise.
Yeah, whether you like humans or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence about at least half of them.
Thanks for the follow.
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like I was on a panel one time for AIGA presidents, and somebody asked me asked the question of what's your most favorite thing and your least favorite thing about being president? The answer was just the people. Like, you get awesome people on your team, it's gonna be amazing. Like everything's gonna click. You're gonna be really productive. Everything's gonna go smoothly. You get a couple bad apples on the team, it's gonna drag everything down, and that's gonna be your whole life is dealing with bad apples. I think you could expand that out worldwide too. Everywhere you go, there's good people. I don't care if you're in North Korea, Russia, Ukraine, or any of these kind of places that are having controversy right now. There are good people there, right?
Oh yeah.
But there's also shit people. That's why they're fighting.
Huge emphasis on good leadership there.
Totally. That's why you just gotta surround yourself by the good people and try to avoid the bad people, or as best you can. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, totally, man. I'm with you on that 100%.
I will never forget one of the first impressionable employee meetings I had at Il Giardino, which is one of the biggest and best restaurants in the city. I worked there for close to 20 years almost. But anyways, the GM comes downstairs, and she's a woman of few words to the staff, but when she says things, they're impactful. And she looks at all of us. She goes, "You know what, guys? Sometimes people just really suck." And we're in the customer service, not just customer service. We're in the fine dining industry, where we're supposed to wine and dine you and make you feel just loved. And we did our best, and we're very well known for doing it well. But sometimes you just can't get around the fact that some people just are not in their way.
Some people are miserable fucks, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. But the happy ending of that is just try to do your best to be happy on your own, and maybe that'll be impressionable to others. So.
Yeah, man.
Lead by example.
Yeah, for sure.
That works. So how are we, Alex? How are we going about getting Carl out of his East Coast shell over there?
Yeah, we got to do an art book signing in Seattle.
I think he wants to.
Well, here you go, Carl.
I think he wants
the
to.
The AIGA Design Conference is going to be in Seattle this year.
He almost made it to NFT LA, which just happened recently. A group called Edge of NFT just hosted a big conference in LA, but I don't think that LA should be his first trip to the West Coast. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that one's a bit much to take in, because not only do you have to figure out like where in LA, because LA is this giant sprawling place.
My cousin lives out there. I'll go see her.
You spend half your time in the car when you're in LA. You know, it's just a lot of touring around, but there's lots of good stuff all up and down the coast to check out. But again, I feel like Carl's kind of like me, that if there's a business reason or whatever reason, then that you're 10 times or 100 times more likely to go. Like,
for sure.
I'll sadly admit that most of the time I visit my family, it's because I also have a business reason to go out there.
Yeah,
multitasking.
I found a way to make this make even more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, it's partly financial, it's partly time-wise. When you do as many things as we tend to do, sometimes you just got to start combining things in order to have them make sense. In fact, since I retired from AIGA chapter leadership stuff, I've tried to focus more and more of my side projects, quote unquote, tried to make sure that they are in relative Venn diagram with my main company, Modern Species, so that whenever I'm doing something for one thing, it's kind of doing something for all of them, as opposed to like in the past I would have so many disparate things that didn't connect together, and then you end up spending a lot of time doing things that may or may not be benefiting each other, and you're just pulled in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, dude. Find synergy.
Totally relate with that.
Synergy is definitely the word there. One thing, it helps the other, helps the other, helps the other. And I mean, like, even in this little Discord call, there's synergy happening, unspoken or not. Like, I kind of find this whole, I hate to keep saying it, but the Web3 NFT space to be a wonderful world of synergy, where a lot of personalities, talents, and types of people really found a way to find a common space and grounds to work in, and to also do what they enjoy to do. So
yeah, there's like a massive coming togetherness vibe of it, which is just really cool. Like, everyone's trying to like really make sure that there's just so much equity, and like all the past major issues with just so many aspects of capitalism. Like, we're trying, like, there's really a push to like mitigate that, like really try to champion the right shit for the right people.
Who would have thought that a stockbroker and a artist, like such as your father, would be in the same realm all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're hand in hand now. Almost.
If you followed Web 1.0 and Web 2.0, that makes sense. Like, like, think about that. The web has been bringing people together since its inception, right? So,
it really has.
Like,
communication.
It's crazy.
But also to your point, yeah, I mean, a lot of the web has been creative based, right? So, like, and then even like music industry, movie industry, all that is like an artist meets an investor or a financier or something like that. So that's a good point. Like, I feel like art's always had its patrons to some degree, but now it's art's patrons and technologists, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like this massive convergence that I just love. It's so cool.
I mean, there's people who play the NFT space purely for the financial side of it too. Like,
of course,
they'll predict, when there's money to be made, people will make it. And there's people who will predict, wow, this is going to be incredible. Let's buy it while it's worth less, and then one day, boom.
And that has always been the art game, right? Like, some people buy Banksies and flip them and do different stuff. And there's always art warehouses packed full of art, and people buy and sell them. But the thing that's really cool here is that typically, if I sold a piece of art, and this was a painting, and I sold it to Fred, and Fred knows he's got a guy, back home that'll buy it for $3,000, and he buys it for me for $500, and he makes $2,500 on my talent. I don't make shit, like I make $500, which. But here we have an equity thing where like you can pass on value. Like you can set up your smart contracts, take a 10% royalty. Anywhere you set up this, you register this collection, and those royalties go on forever as long as the blockchain exists, as long as this piece of art still exists on the blockchain, and someone trades it through a place where it's registered at it. But that's all going to be centralized a little better in the future, where it's like there's going to be a hub where people register their collection, and then all of the other gateways, what am I thinking, what's the word here, marketplaces, all the other marketplaces are going to have, like, they're going to subscribe to them to pull their database from. I think that makes the most sense. So that, because right now the way it works, Gage, if I created a collection of NFTs and I wanted 10% royalties, I could register them on OpenSea to have 10% royalties. But if someone buys it on OpenSea and then sells it on another platform, not OpenSea, none of that data is there, so then I'm not getting my royalty. But what you can do is go to all the different marketplaces and register your NFT. But that's like a one at a time process, as far as I understand it currently. So,
well, we're getting down the rabbit hole there.
A lot of work.
We're getting down the rabbit only because part of the beauty of all of blockchain technology is it's unregulated. There's no governing body like the SEC that governs it. I mean, there's obviously regulation in the sense you can't be doing tax evasion and things like that, but it's a lot of people are purely into this space because it's unregulated and because there's not a governing body outside of what the currency's backed by. So, like, you have currencies like Solana and certain cryptos that are just completely unregulated and untrackable, and in that insider trading can happen in a legal way. There's nothing even, I guess it can be seen as immorally
also
wrong.
known as how Congress and Senate does it. So
there's all kinds of ways to spend it, but like to have one globalized governing body, it may not. That's exactly what everybody doesn't want to hear. However, I do feel that there should be competition in if there is like a global platform that launches it into the smaller markets, there should be a competitive one as well.
Yeah, it's all gonna evolve. The thing that's really cool with this is just the innate transparency of all of it is going to be really helpful in the long-term growth of this.
Yes, because you can see where every transaction goes. You can trace all the money. Like it's all transparency is the name of the game. That's how people believe in you, because they know everything you're doing and you're not up to scandalous activities.
And it's how NFTs have value, because they're literally, you can see what wallet they originated from and if this is the real deal or not. So
that's right. It's really the bad guys that ruined. It's like you were mentioning, the bad apples. Like, one bad apple kind of started the stigma that some people have about crypto and alternative currencies.
Human beings are going to be human beings, right? Like, there's greedy, terrible human beings, and there's altruistic, lovely human beings, and everything in between.
And there's there's artists that create posthumous work for their father, and like, I mean, that's one big reason why I'm so behind this project, is because I feel like this is such positive work, and you're obviously not up to no good there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Thank you for that, man. It feels good to be doing this, but it's also just cool, like the idea of just honoring him, and just like, I also love that you knew my dad, like, and you knew what Gage. He was such a like. I'm sure you have whatever opinions you have about me and what kind of person you think I am, and you know my levels of excitability and all that. My dad was like, if I'm like a 5, my dad was a 12. Like, he was insane. Like, he was just on a whole nother level. Just a magical person and charismatic. What'd you say?
Yeah. You're like a muted version of him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a little more reserved, which is funny because if you know me, I'm a not reserved human being. So,
what is his first name?
Teddy. Teddy was my dad's first name. My name, I'm actually Carl Cleanta.
You're colorful. So you're colorful Carl.
Yes.
But he would have been like explosive Teddy or.
Yeah. So he used to call himself Fast Teddy, because he was definitely that like New Yorker, city slicker, go 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 go. I mean, you guys were joking like what would break me. My dad would be doing a million things at all times, like just on another level. He took us all to New York City one time for the holidays. It was like Thanksgiving, I think. And my grandmother had bought us all tickets to go see the Rockettes. And like, it's me and all 3 of my siblings, my sister's husband, and then my wife. And like, we're with my dad, and he's like 62. And we couldn't keep up with him. Like, we're walking down the streets, and this guy's just like, we're going this way. It was just gone. And like, we're like, slow down, motherfucker. We can't keep up with you. It was insane. But that was just like a day in the life.
I would hear stories about your dad.
The wife?
That was the wife that just walked by. Yeah.
I hear stories about your dad from people at the restaurant, and I've heard about him from people that you would never ever expect. It seems like everybody seemed to have known your dad. My family was an old family in the city too, and everybody knew your dad. So
yeah, because he was an unforgettable character, just legendary in some regards, just ridiculous in most regards. But
I do want to mention something that we are a little bit time sensitive on. We have 40 minutes left in our Gleam giveaway. I don't know if any viewers are here for that, but when Carl gets a moment, he can pull that image up for you, and it's also in our description. But I'm going to give away 5 free entries. There's about 360 already, and we'll be giving that to you at the end of the stream. The Gleam giveaway link is in the description. There's a picture of the actual NFT that we're giving to the people who entered. But if you were here, I wanted to honor one other person with 5 free entries. So if you're here, make yourself known in chat, and I'll determine who's going to get them. So
and here's the beautiful piece. We're calling this Meteoric. This was the first piece I ever did in a live stream, which is pretty. Could be the beginning of like something amazing. It could be like the next big thing, guys. And I don't know if it will be or not, but I'm gonna keep doing art. A lot of people
reacted really well to it. So
yeah, for sure, man. It's super cool. So I had this like derpy old drawing that I did.
Look at this. This is incredible.
I did this. Just kind of trying to like do something like my dad would do, right? Like it's like a planet. It was kind of cool sideways even, and it's all watercolor and drippy and stuff. But like I totally did this one. Just messing around. I never got it to a space where I liked it at all. But I was like, hey, well, let me just like take that concept and drop it in and make it digital. And then so I took that. I don't know why I said that way. And I actually like got a NASA space shot of planet Earth, which is cool. Little thing about NASA, if you're a digital artist, it's all government owned, right? So all their images are owned by the people, so they're completely open license. You can do whatever you want with them. So that's
Creative
super
Commons,
cool.
Baby.
Creative Commons, yeah. And then I took a Hubble Space Telescope of some gas nebulas and shit. So I layered those all together over top of a couple pieces of my dad's art, and then my original concept is in there as well. It's inverted. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's in there as well. So it's like this multi-depth layer thing, and it turned into this cool.
That's where it's, the evolution of that to me is so mind-blowing.
And I did it live, so we'll be linking that in the description of the NFT as well. So that'll be cool.
What I would love for you guys to do at some point is like time lapses of the art creation. I think that would be super cool. Like recap at the end, like a 1 minute recap of the 2-hour art.
That's a good idea, actually.
That would be super fun.
In fact, I probably
the story of where that started and the pieces that contributed to it, but like to watch it all come together, I bet would be even more magical.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
I definitely could do that too, because we have the beauty of this is we have it all recorded, so I could do that. Actually, that's a great idea.
It is, sir.
Okay, and then clarifying question, maybe for anyone listening, but you said you were giving away like 5 entries or something like that. What does that mean?
Yeah, so we're using a platform called Gleam, and what it does is you get a number of entries into a competition that is drawn randomly. One entry wins it. But you get entries into it via doing things like following us on Twitch, joining our Discord, following our Instagram, liking our Facebook page. So basically, it draws in the community in all of your social networks, and you have a nice prize at the end and reward for following our socials and becoming a part of the community. It's our way of thanking our viewers and our social media.
Just trying to give everybody value. Outside of watching this cool art, like I want you guys to, be a part of growing this with me. So like we're giving away all the NFTs that we're creating right now, and then when people buy my dad's NFTs, that'll be cool, and this is all going to be under the same umbrella, and I'll keep making new art with my dad's art, and hopefully 3, 4, 5 years from now, everybody that's like dialed into what I'm doing now is going to have some really valuable NFTs, and they'll have helped me build a community, and that'll be my way of saying thanks. So.
I don't want to get into POAP just yet, but that's even more on that subject. But I do want to keep watching this art, because you've had a heck of a day, and if we hit that chime, we might get to see the Survivor series version of this.
Yeah, dude, it's I feel like it's almost there. What do you guys think?
I'm digging it. I like the shading underneath his eye. It's a statement, and I don't think I've seen this color scheme yet in any. Well, yes and no, but the dark purples.
I always do purples. I love purples and blues. It's my jam.
It looks like your whole background is purple right now. So do you have like purple lights going on there, or is that?
I do. Yeah. Okay,
he
Google.
He can change them too.
Change office lights to green.
Sure, changing 5 lights to green.
I don't know. I like it.
Now you see colorful. Now you see why he's colorful.
What? Now it looks like Epic Made. You can change. You're like, oh, I'm at an Epic Made conference call. I'm gonna do green, and then when you're like Cleanta Studios, it's purple. And then when you're hanging out with Gage, it's orange. Whatever.
Orange.
Alex.
Is it the trademarked orange? Do you have a license for that orange, Gage? That's what I need to know.
I'm gonna sue you. If you put your lights in my color, I'm gonna send you a cease and desist.
You better cease and desist masquerading with that spectrum of light. We patented that.
You better take my color out your damn mouth.
Don't come over here and slap me in the face, all right? That's all I know. Dude, I mean, think about that. Like, literally a spectrum of color. I mean, it's the ultimate, I'm sure we'll find more ultimate ways as greedy human beings, but the idea when, settlers came to America and that natives were like, what do you mean you own the land? Nobody owns... Yeah. Now
pretty soon somebody's going to sue somebody for having that shade of tan. But you're that color of orange, your skin tan, so you obviously were trying to take my color.
Yeah. So when I'm done with my piece of art, I'll have to pay royalties per pixel of the colors on this screen that I use, and I need to make it lower resolution because I can only afford but so many pixels of each color that I wanted to license for my piece of art for the evening.
Oh my god. It's so fun.
Actually, that's a good idea. All right, guys, new business idea.
New business idea.
Somehow patent and commercialize every hue possible, and then that way we can just scan the internet and charge people per pixel.
I see the hue. There it is. There's one. Dude, I think that hue may have shown up in an Amazon logo. We're gonna have to get that one.
That's the beauty. Is like we can use these algorithms at that point. We don't even have to look for it. Our bank account will just go from 0 to 20 billion overnight.
I hate that this is so very plausible. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah, hopefully no rich people were listening in on this.
Yeah, hopefully not like.
Well, no, hopefully they are. Hopefully they are, because this is definitely a topic of discussion all over streaming platforms. Like I mentioned, it's so hard to find that balance where you're not disrupting and taking others' work.
Interesting.
From a legal standpoint, rather.
Pantone's gonna be like, "Hey, that's a great idea." Next thing you know, like Pantone owns all the colors now.
I keep feeling like you're done with the artwork, and then you do another thing, and I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
I know, that's the problem. That's the problem here.
I think that's my problem with most of the artwork I've done is like, it'll get to a cool point, and then I'm like, what else can I do? Next thing you know, I've somehow destroyed it. Like,
yes.
Where you can't like turn off a layer, and then you're like, damn it, I went too far again. But like, that's the beauty of digital, is you can create a new layer, try something, and delete it if you don't like it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You guys are. I'm not a designer by any means, but can you explain this to me, Carl? So. And I know this is kind of the trend for a lot of NFTs is you'll start out with a base image, okay? And for example, like Bored Ape, they have a base ape, and then there's accessories on some, then there's mutations of others. Like, how does that? I mean, obviously we're kind of seeing that here in a sense, but is that traditional? Like, at what point is it irreversible?
So traditional is a weird concept to try to introduce into like an industry that's just a couple years old. Like, it's all kind of experimental, I would say. But like, I guess I'm a little confused. Run the question by me again, because I think I'm a little confused about the question.
Well, I mean, just the same patterns that you see in most NFTs now. I'm talking more specifically of the big ones. They'll start out with base images where you'll have the same model, right? And then that model, what separates that NFT from the next is could literally just be accessories like a chain, sunglasses.
Gotcha. So these are the avatar profile picture type NFT trend that you're speaking about. To my knowledge, CryptoKitties did something that was like the first big breakout of NFTs like this. And then really the next big one is, Bored Apes. And what it is like, okay, so there's like rarities of backgrounds and rarities of, so like they randomly generate it so that there's a base avatar. And then it's basically like we have 20 characteristics. And of those 20 characteristics, there's 50 individual things that can go into that. Then they run an algorithm that generates randomly, like, or based on like, hey, these characteristics are legendary, so we're only going to do it 0.001 times versus like these sunglasses are common, so they're going to show up at 5x times or something. You know what I mean? Like, so the algorithm could basically be adjusted to the rarity they want ahead of time. I don't know how Bored Apes did it specifically, but basically what ends up happening is, there's only, we made it 10,000 apes, but only 100 of them have these sunglasses. These are the most rare sunglasses, or this is the most rare background. There was like a golden fur, like a gold ape that was like uber rare that like didn't show up very. Those are worth millions of dollars now, and you could have minted one for $80. So it's just like opening a pack of cards.
Like the funny thing,
it's like so. Designed rarity. It's like, in the physical product world, there's this concept called designed obsolescence, which a lot of like mobile phones or whatever is accused of, where they make something that's meant to start looking old school in 2 years, like whether the technology starts breaking down or the features aren't as good or whatever, and like you gotta get rid of that old one and get the new one. It's designed obsolescence. But
Yep.
what you're talking about, it sounds like designed rarity, where you're like artificially recreating real world scenarios of like, hey, there's only so much gold or there's only so much oil or whatever in the world, so therefore supply and demand. But
yeah, I mean, and that's how the trading card industry has done it for years.
Intentionally up front, I'm only going to print this many of these sunglasses.
Yep.
So like, a lot of my followership on Twitter, and probably some people even in this stream, possibly. I played Counter-Strike, and I was in the Counter-Strike skin market, which was in my mind one of the first entry points for this type for NFTs, exactly, because it quite literally is exactly what you just described. You would have a base skin, which would be like a gun in the game or a knife, that everybody and anybody could own, but then you had rarities of like a color scheme that would be on it, or a different handle or whatever you may have it. But these skins, even to this day, they're Counter-Strike skins that are worth upwards of $20,000 to $50,000 that people buy, and it's just incredible. That's been going on since 2016, I believe. And the way that they were, the rarity was formed is you would open a case, and then to open the case, which is just like the minting process, it costs $5 for the key, and then you'd have like a 0.0001% chance to get something ultra rare like that. It's just algorithm based. It's just crazy how many things are coming together.
Yeah, it's definitely design scarcity, and again, like I think that was born in the collectibles market, right? Like it's something I think humans have been doing for as long as people have had the space to have non-essential shit, right? Like at some point we got to a space where we're collecting things that we don't need, we just want them, right? So
yeah, I think I've noticed some NFT hoarders on Twitter.
Yeah,
people with like thousands. I just need all of them. That's their mentality, which is cool, But
some of them they probably really like, but some of them are probably like, I have no idea if this is going to be worth money, and like I paid such a what I consider to be a
keep hoarding, by the way, if you are one. But
yeah. It's just the idea I think is very interesting. It's like hard to sell things when you think it might be worth a lot more someday later. You know what I mean?
At least that they're hoarding things that aren't taking up space outside of their hard drive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gage has an entire thing that I learned about through Gage, where it's like the trying to like digitally purge, right? Like I know that's not like your thing. I don't think, Gage, but I learned about it through you. Where it's like people like saving all this stuff. It's stored on hard drive somewhere that's wasting electricity, unless it's offline. But if it's on a server, it's like actively a
cloud technology, especially.
A waste.
Cloud technology is definitely,
Yeah, for sure. Even just like file size in that regard, right? Because you want to keep the original high res, but then you're also holding all that data, which requires more and more servers or more and more hard drives, more and more technology, which gets back to design obsolescence. And then it's like you get stuck in this decision-making process of the same way you do in the real world of like, shit, do I keep all this stuff? My house is getting cluttered. It's the same thing with digital. You get to the point where you're like, do I need all these high resolution, or do I need the working files? Do I need all the iterations? Do I need the revisions? What do I need? Because you start stacking up terabyte after terabyte after terabyte. Next thing you know, like you're using way more technology with, rare minerals and all the energy and everything that went into that. Plus, like you're having to like host that somewhere, which takes a lot of energy. And every time you recall it, like it just snowballs. And I'm just picturing us at like 80, not to mention our grandchildren or something like that. Yeah. Like how many? I don't even know what's after terabytes, but how many of those are they going to have stored in a cloud somewhere, taking massive amount of resources to just be able to call up whenever they want it and hold those files?
God, this is chiming on
I
so
can't
many
even
notes
picture
for
it.
you
Like,
right
we're
now.
already.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
there's
it's
this test that you
pretty.
can take that shows you how many planets it would take if everyone lived at your lifestyle. Like, I'm just picturing. Right now, we're at like I can't remember, like 5-10 planets or something like that as an average. But, like, what will we do when technology keeps growing? I have no idea.
I don't know either, man.
The world I guess the world will eventually know, but we may never be able to know conceptually yet. I mean, I know that I just had to move my mother out of her house, and the amount of furniture and things, and that, I know how overwhelming that was. But in retrospect, like, think about it, just as you mentioned it, all of the different files that the kids will have to deal with, and even me creating a couple of websites for Carl recently and doing the stream elements. My desktop is a hot mess right now, and like learning to value labeling things and properly naming things and putting them in folders and organizing is paramount. And deleting things as well. Like,
it's just like a never-ending thing, you know. It's just hard to even quantify what makes sense. Yeah, so much stuff. But you're right. Like, my thought on that though is hopefully that the technology is scaling, right? Like, I mean, you know, it wasn't how long ago when something that you could like literally like a 3 megabyte hard drive like had to be carried with a forklift. You know what I mean? So that's the other side. Like, hopefully the efficiency gets to the point where it doesn't. But it's still going to be rare earth minerals, but you know, less and less and less, and infinitesimally. You know what I mean? Like again, forklift amount of iron and like crazy, you know, whatever they used to use back then. I don't know, but I imagine it was heavy as shit. It wasn't like all like aluminum.
I don't know if you saw the news about Google buying it was a web security company, but they're basically taking a step into quantum computation and quantum computers, which is like something that's way before its time, according to physics and whatnot. But it's just, once computers become on the quantum processing level, we'll transcend it. It may be the Terminator days too, but who knows?
Yeah, and then just one of those gets, you know, sentience through one of our AI scripts, and it's all over. You know?
Yeah, that's just it.
We've created the new apex species on the planet. I mean, it's so like seems so like where we're headed that it's just hard to even deny. I don't know.
Truth.
I don't know, but anyhow, we're getting later in the stream here. Did you want to go ahead and announce anything? Or
yeah, I'm not getting much feedback from viewers in chat, but once again, the giveaway ends here. Let's see how much time we have left. We are at 18 minutes, so last call. If you want 5 free entries, go ahead and type something in chat, and I'll give you a code you can type in, get 5 more, and we'll draw a winner here pretty shortly. So 18 minutes left.
Okay.
We do have, let's see here. We have 439 entries left, or 439 entries entered. So.
Wow, dude, good work.
Yeah. We got a couple of follows too. If we missed them, we do thank you for those during the stream. So.
Oh, dope. That's what we need. Right. More streams. So, what do you guys think? This is pretty sufficiently weird, right? Like, it doesn't look like.
I'm kind of digging it, man.
I mean, I feel like the best move, and it was a subtle one, but was like that warping the texture around the kind of the head. Kind of
yeah. Pushing it up.
More with less. You know, like more with less. You didn't have to do much else to like give it shape, but it started just making it feel 3D, like making it come off the background. So
yeah,
I feel like that was badass. And then I also liked your last minute addition of the texture. I wasn't sure where you were going with it, but I like applying some more of that white paint kind of stuff going on there. It was a nice touch.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it just yeah, Dad used to always talk about like just you gotta add the white to tie it all in and balance it out. You know, he was quite a genius with color theory. So like it's like you gotta see if you haven't had a chance to like browse through the website.
I'll link it for us.
It's so good. Like, he was just so good. It's crazy. Yeah, and I'll probably, like, I usually like to, have a drink and, work through this and have some fun, and then tomorrow I'll, like, pull it up real fast and do a couple little tweaks. So I'm almost done with the piece we did last time. I started a friend of a friend, Rhiannon, is a yoga influencer, yoga teacher, and she's got some cool stuff on her yoga page, on her Instagram, but I did a piece of her that was really cool. I'll show that off real fast. And we're going to probably end up NFTing that as well, so we'll see. But yeah, this is where I left off on this one, so I'm still working with this. So I had like a photo of her. Let's see. So that was her like actual legit pose, like she's a badass yoga lady. And yeah, and then so became that. And I still, again, I'm going to dial in some of the details on her, but that's what I streamed last time, which was really cool. And then, like, this was one of my dad's original paintings. And then I think there's probably another one in there somewhere. Yeah. Did I show that? Sorry, there's one.
Did the painting have that dimension in it? Or did you make the dimension?
No, this is straight up just a photograph. Like, I didn't mess with this at all. Yeah, Dad used to do all kind. Like, he's got a lot of these, man. Like, this is just like an abstract watercolor thing. Like, so this whole collection.
When did he find the time to do that?
I mean, he's 72 when he died, and he just lived a different kind of life, man. He was just always just painting and making art, and he'd sell time showers and sell his paintings.
Insomnia or something, and he would just get up in the middle of the night throwing paint on canvas.
I mean,
because we were talking about this before. Like, where do you find the time to do your things? And, like, we're both talking. You've created this whole project so that you could do some art. Like, how did Teddy do it?
It's a great question. I think he just always had a little paint studio. So everywhere he went, like at his house, or like he had a little art studio down at the ocean front for a long time. And like he'd just get in there, and the thing that like my dad, if the painting couldn't get done in like, I mean, an hour was really stretching it, but like this probably took him 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know. He was like a straight mad genius with it. Like, and he had like these specific brands. So I say that to say like he would just do something furiously, get it done, right? Like even when he was dying, this is his last piece. Like this is probably my most cherished possession. Let's see if I can get it without a glare on it. Over here. I'll pull it up otherwise. But he did this in like, I don't know, 20 minutes. Like just wandered over to his little art table and like, half dead. Like he literally died a month later. Like he was dying of cancer, and he's just like, and he just like came over. He could barely walk, and he's got his crazy art station. He just starts fucking slinging paints and just like, it was just like, but it was like, it's not as.
I have something I have to make. Yeah. I don't know if
follower.
Crazy. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow.
Hey, I have a story. My lights purple.
I have a story about. I don't know if it was you who told me this, Carl, or if it was even the woman who owns the house I'm living with right now. But your dad, I remember this story. He was supposed to work that day, and instead of working, he didn't call in sick. Didn't do anything like that. He just said, I'm not going in today. And literally in the same day, everybody who was working, selling timeshares on the oceanfront, he was rollerblading by, waving. Was it you who told me this?
I did tell you that story, yeah.
Rollerblading by going, hey guys, what are you doing? Are you supposed to be at work? No, I'm rollerblading right now, actually. He just kind of rolled it to his own, what he wanted to do. So I don't know how well that works in society these days, but he found a way to make it. So.
Yeah, he made his own rules, man. He always did. Like, even though, like, he just didn't care. Way before weed was legal, he'd just be driving down the road, smoking a little J, like, doesn't give a shit. Like, he was just crazy.
He lived life as he wanted to.
Yeah, so that story actually was from my cousin called and told me that. She said she was working down at the selling timeshares at the beach, and like his boss pissed him off, so he said he wasn't coming in, right? So he's not feeling well. He just makes up some bullshit excuse, and then he comes rollerblading down the boardwalk, like in his like little short shorts. He used to wear these like little short shorts and no shirt. He's probably in his late 50s, early 60s, like lean, shredded. Always took really good care of himself, and just like goes into the offices and chatting with everybody, and just doesn't give it. Just like I'm gonna do what I want, because he was like the best sales guy there, right? They used to crush all the records, and he'd win a bunch of awards and everything. But if they pissed him off, he's just like, I'm not coming in today. Fuck you guys. Like, he was a character, man. He did not give a shit.
He carved his own path.
He did, man. He did. He was a New York City slicker, like, just like make it happen, whatever kind of thing. Like, hated to be bored, was terrified of being bored. And I'm sure I get that from him myself. Like, which is why I'm, like Gage was talking, y'all were joking at the beginning of the show, like, what's gonna break Carl? What does it take? Like, it's just an infinite amount of, I don't know, man. Who knows? I found it the other day. It was like 11 miles. And doing all the things I wanted to do as well, 11 miles of running, and then just like I jacked up my hip, and I was like, oh shit, so I can't run. So now like I shift immediately back to like a weightlifting regiment in my garage, and like the very first set of like I'm doing some bench press with my little dumbbells, and I go to press, and I'm just like, ugh, and I was like, oh cool. So I held it right there. I was like, oh, let me curl my legs up and do some abs, like because I need to do more all the time at the same time. Like I can't just do my chest. I had to do some ab curls with my legs. I fell off the fucking bench and like twisted my back, and then, so now my hips hurting and my back's hurting, and I'm just like, all right, I need to calm down. And that is my life. Anyways.
It's you always speak about how important running is to you, and that's a very healthy and mentally lifting way to harness some of that restless energy, man. The endorphins is so healthy.
Yeah, man. It's I always hated running growing up. Like I played lots of sports, and running was like the worst part for me. And now, like, it just makes it all work for me. So I don't know. It just clicks.
Yeah, I just want to say one more time, because the Gleam is coming down to an end here. We got 10 minutes left. If you want, if anybody's in chat, you have to make yourself known, and five extra entries. So.
Appreciate you doing the promos, Alex. Is that too dramatic, the difference I just made? What do you guys think?
With the yellows, I kind of like it.
I just darkened the background and pulled the face up a little more, I
like it. I will give one piece of critique. The right pupil, or the right eye, could you do like a black around it? Because the left one has a little bit, but
define this eye a little better.
Yeah, but not too harshly. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like the eye's just a little derpy, It's like
maybe that's what you're going for there too. So.
I don't know. Who knows? Just channeling, just going. Damn it. What are you doing? Stupid tool. I hate it when Photoshop just beeps at me like, oh, I didn't ask you for any opinions, Photoshop. Just do what's in my mind.
Have you ever had Windows Narrator cut on accident? Where it goes, start magnifier, and it starts speaking to you about everything that you're doing. Oh my god, don't ever. I think it's Window Control Shift that does that. Ugh.
I think I did do that the other day. I was like, what is going on?
You feel like a demon is taking over your machine.
I want to quit whatever this is. Like,
pull the plug, fucking hit the strap.
I'm all set. Alright. Yeah, that looks a little better. It's a little janky. Oh, you know what's cool? Here's a cool feature. So we go to Liquify tool. And then they literally have like a face-aware liquefy, so like I can start like janking with his face. It's so much fun. Let's see. Face-aware liquefy. It doesn't. How did you not detect a face? You're fired. Face aware looks fun.
Oh,
Sometimes
geez. You
What's
put
that?
too much texture on it.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't find the face. Yeah.
Anyways, I was gonna like tweak some of the features. But dude, I think it's I'm kind of feeling it. Like I never know where this is gonna go, you know. So,
And what are your plans? What this is going to be next streams? Or what are your plans with this?
yeah, this is definitely a giveaway, man. We're gonna give this away next stream.
So
Start
everybody,
a new Gleam. This is the jam.
there we go. This is it, guys. This is the one for next week. So if you're here early, and you'll have early entries. I'll have that giveaway set up probably by the end of this. So
yeah, and
be on our socials.
Win like, you know, I know Luke's out there and my buddies and Gage. If you want to win, like, dude, everybody, the systems, it's all like, it does it, right? There's no bias, there's no nothing. So
Nope.
I'm not worried about any of that. Like, if this tickles your fancy, like, you know, throw your name in the hat. That's cool. That's a little too much.
Maybe one more time. How do people throw their name in the hat?
Alex, you got that? So Alex is going to post a link to our. We have a Gleam giveaway. It's gleam.io.
Yes. So
URL.
So are you on the Twitch page right now?
Yeah.
So you see on the underneath where he's streaming the Gleam giveaway. It's underneath Cleanta Studios. It's that picture.
Yeah.
Click that. And then it'll take you right into the giveaway platform, and it's just going to basically ask you to follow our socials, and you've got like 4 minutes to do it. But you can do it, I believe.
And then we'll create a new one next week for this one.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we have coming down the chute is we are working, and I actually, right before the stream started, got the email from POAP, which is a participation award for people who, it basically gives you an NFT that they back, that signifies that you were a participant in any given event. So what we're going to try to do is on big landmark streams, give people a POAP, and this many process, but it's going to be one that is really going to reward our viewers. So we'll get more into that as things become more cemented. But check them out. It's I'll send you guys a link to POAP in the chat.
Yeah, this is working for me. I think I'm gonna sign it.
Sign it.
Gage, you said something about purple earlier, and then I think we got all spun around. Was there something, you had some thoughts?
I mean, I was just commenting on your purple background before. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I was saying, I was trying to trick your Google, because I was seeing if I could, through my voice, get your room to change colors, but it failed because we were talking over each other.
Well, it would work actually, but I have all the audios pumping into my earbuds, so Google can't hear you. Google can't hear you when you scream.
Oh. She's unaware.
Yeah, I like this. I'll probably do some polishing to it after the fact, but I feel like this is a good place to go. Yay! I did a thing on the stream. I make the art.
You're good.
That's definitely in line with the rest of the works too, and it's cheery too. It's happier. There's darkness there, but there's happiness there. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna snag the old logo and such off of here. I'm trying to figure out the best play for this too. I love your little like polar bear with wings logo. It's super sick. Is that right? Is that?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Trying to. Yep, that's what it is. We call it Ursus maritimus alis, which is our made-up Latin name for bear of the sea with wings. But yeah, the idea is that if humans keep going on our current path, we're going to melt all the ice, and then polar bears won't have a place to go, and then they're going to have to evolve and grow wings and come south and eat all of us. So if you don't want polar bears flying south and eating you, buy some better for the world products.
That is glorious. Wow. Fantastic.
That's so cool. It's so cool though, because once again, even though it's so different, we're all trying to do the exact same thing here in a way. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here is a cool thing I made, friends. What do you know? If I keep this up, maybe one day I'll be a real artist.
I'm a real boy.
So much fun. I mean, I'm just throwing my dad's work together and like doodling on top of it and having fun. I'm not mad about it.
You just said the best part. Having fun, man.
Yeah, my brother, my brother has a little show called The Camping Kitchen where he cooks outside and does a bunch of shit like that. And he owns a restaurant out in, what's up?
And I said, what? You got a whole family of creators, basically.
Oh yeah, for sure. Both my brothers are massively creative too, and they flex real heavy in the culinary space. But Aristotle's definitely made a little series. But anyways, on a series, he's always like, all right, guess what I always say? If you ain't having fun, then guess what? You ain't having fun. Like, it just made me think of that. That's his like little piece of wisdom. His name's Aristotle too, which is great. Got Greek philosopher name. Good Greek philosopher name. Anyhow. All right, guys. Well, I really, really had a good time here tonight. This was a lot of fun. Gage, again, I really appreciate you coming out. Yeah, if you want to get in touch with Gage, again, that's modernspecies.com. Species plural, right?
Yeah, I'll link to everything in chat for anybody
yeah.
watching.
Right.
Cool. And then Evolve CPG, which is super cool. And if you see some little dope animations on any of his videos, we did those over at Epic Made.
I was just about to say your site looks beautiful, man.
Yeah, no, well, they're badass designers, so it has to look beautiful. Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this thing up here. And
Small world. Go team.
What was that?
I just said go team.
Go team.
Go team.
Yep. So throwing the old transition up to the end.